You said that we're equal, and then is it in the Quran that Eve was created from Adam, or is it a traditional? I don't know where I heard that, but
a very good point. Where did we hear that Eve was created of Adam? What is? Let me see if my eyes are good enough. Miss Yasmin. Oh, Miss Yasmin is talking about. What is she talking about? What is she imagining? Can someone please tell me?
That Eve was created from Adam's rib.
Yes. Where did you get that from? Where did you hear it?
Biblical, the Bible.
In the Bible, but I'm not teaching the Bible today.
It's in the
So that's the Bible.
It's in the Quran as well. However, it's in
Show
the
me
Quran.
where in the Quran.
I don't know the
And
exact.
you don't know them. It's not there. Unless you can find it. Okay? I mean, it's very important. I'll tell you, I mean, there are a lot of women who, when they argue about women's rights, and they like an idea, not just women, men too, they say it's in the Quran. Because they think everything, good must be in the Quran. Or sometimes it's in the Quran in a different way. Sometimes there is a silence. Sometimes it's not that. Okay? But there is no place in the Quran which says that Eve was created of Adam's rib. All right, you know Arabic, right? Allow me to do some Arabic linguistic analysis. وَخَلَقَهُمْ مِنْ نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. Is the nafs male or female? Linguistically, bear with me, linguistically. هي وخلق منها زوجها. الزوج is what? Male. So of the nafs, which is a female, he created the zawj, which is a male. Okay, I don't wanna argue that, but what I'm trying to tell you is that part of the verse you mentioned is more complicated than to say we created of Adam, of his rib, the female. Okay? And there are scholars that have argued that what this says is that we are a pair, male and female. Not that Adam, look, I wanted this morning to bring you some of the commentary on the hadith and things like that, where there's one story, I was reading it this morning and I regret not bringing it. The book is heavy and I have a back problem, so I didn't bring it. I'll bring it tomorrow. Where one of the scholars writing, he said, well, Adam fell asleep in Eden and he was very bored. While he's asleep, I think an angel or something took from him a rib and created Eve to keep his company. They build a whole lot of stories on that. I'll try to bring you, I'll Xerox these pages for you. Then there are scholars who looked at the reported hadith and said, look, God created Adam from nothing, right? He's not going to find it impossible to create again from nothing. Why does he need to first create Adam and then take it out of his rib? So the hadith, it's not the Quran, it's the hadith. There are hadiths there.
Right.
And going into the hadith, as you will find out in the afternoon, I think today or tomorrow maybe, so you have to first of all verify the hadith. You have to make sure that it is sound and that the chain of authority is correct, and therefore it is a reliable hadith. And you also have to make sure that you understand what the hadith is actually saying. For example, some of the scholars I talked to about these hadiths said that it is not that God created Eve from Adam's rib, but more like Eve is like a rib. Because it says, it is some of the hadiths attributed to the Prophet, it's a crooked rib. Okay? But the Prophet never said this about women. In other words, he never treated women that way. Okay? So you have to also put it in the context of the whole practice of the Prophet. And there's nothing in the Quran about that. So I wonder today if one of you is going to bring the issue of the hadith. And I would say that I will, if you like, pick it up with you another time where I'll bring all the commentaries on the hadith. But and then you can decide for yourself. But then also I want to emphasize, and I'm very glad that Ms. Fatima raised the issue, it's not in the Quran. The closest that's in the Quran, and we created you a single soul, and of it it's made. Okay? but there is no rib story in the Quran. Okay? All right. Good. So now I want to come to the concept of al-mizan. The Quran tells us that the whole universe is created according to the universal principle of balance and harmony. What is mizan? Balance. You know, what is the sign for good law, for law? I said good law is what I meant law. The balance, the scale. And why is the scale important? Because that's how, you know, justice is even-handed, right? You have to make sure that every judgment you pass is balanced. And harmony is part of what justice is about. So we'll talk some more about that. I'm going to take you now into an area of balance, which is a little bit different from what you expected, and then move on to the topics that are directly of our concern. You know, we should not have a narrow vision and zero only on those issues we care about. There is a whole universal perspective in the Qur'an, and it tells us that the whole universe is organized according to balance and harmony, not just human beings. It is not permitted for the sun to catch up to the moon, nor can the night outstrip the day. Each swims along in its own orbit according to law of nature, right? Gravity is a law of nature. But who created those laws? Who organized the world according to a mizan, to a balance? God, right? And we see what happens when the balance is upset. You've heard about what's happening in the Gulf of Mexico. The balance was upset. So environmental balance, as well as human balance, as well as other types of balance. Look, the sun and the moon follow courses exactly computed, the herbs and the trees, even the firmament he raised high and he set up the balance. And now the translator says of justice. Oh, come on, I'm talking about trees and moon and sun. And I'm talking about environmental balance and universal balance. What brought the concept of justice into the middle of this? Why are we thinking justice? Goes on to say, in order that you may not transgress to balance. Well, are we just talking about balance like when you go to buy some tomatoes or potatoes and you want to make sure that the balance is correct, or what? Establish weight with justice and fall not short in the balance. What does all this mean? And then it goes on to continue about the earth being spread, etc. So what does this mean? Okay. What this means is that everything in the heavens and the earth was created according to a master divine plan. Nothing is haphazard, including free will, right? Nothing is haphazard. Everything was created by God according to a plan, and that plan follows the Quranic logic, the divine logic of harmony, of balance, okay? And when you upset the balance, whether you upset it on a human level or natural level, we can look and see the consequences. In the slides I show you, suddenly the translator talks not only about natural balance, but about human balance, human harmony, and he calls it justice. How do we go from al-mizan to the concept of justice? How do we go from balance and harmony to the concept of justice? Easily. And the way we do this is by asking ourselves, what's the difference between me and the mountains, and the trees, and the sun, and the moon, who are governed by natural laws? I am also partly governed by natural laws, but not just that. What's the difference between me and them? Huh? Speak louder. Humility?
Humanity.
Humanity. What does humanity mean? I mean, that's a fudging answer, right? Because it is correct, but I want to know what's behind it. Let me hear from Miss Mona.
Free will?
So what is this free will?
the ability to not only make decisions but to act upon them.